spouses that are now 8s are now people's wives, you know.
Yay.
Oh,
They're now people's wives.
You took it there. Okay,
Yeah?
Paul.
And the 5s are now 7s.
Hey.
These are the same ones, are they?
With antibody.
Are they?
Oh, sorry.
Body shaming. 1124.
1124 body shaming.
Let's put the brand on it.
Oh, it's so wild. But you're supposed to be in your prime though. Why'd you have an antibody? Oh, Ollie, man.
No, that was not me. That was Andrew. Because all you look at is looks. All you care about is looks. You don't care about personality.
Man, shallow out here.
Shallow.
Oh, my days.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
you guys.
waved.
You're talking about them 7s.
Yeah, no 7s now. I'm not saying these are people's wives now, but obviously you've been talking about submission and that really recently.
Hey.
Are people really on this thing now? Because
You're gonna rattle a few feathers, bruv.
no, you know what I mean. I'm not even gonna try to rattle a couple feathers.
You're going
I
to.
will.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey.
Here we go.
You know what I mean? Okay. Let me call a spade a spade. At the end of the day, it just needs to happen, innit?
Oi.
It just needs to happen, innit?
She needs
Submission.
to submit
And
to you.
there needs to at the end of the day, that person is the head, because when things hit the fan, it's be a man, take control, all that kind of stuff. Look, if I want to be doing that, if I want to be taking the management role, you know what I mean? I need my employees to follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it a buck, guys.
Your wife's your employee.
Bro, I didn't see
Bruh.
that.
TP.
TP, that's wild, man.
Tread carefully, you know. Tread carefully.
Cut that. No, on a
I can't even
serious,
lie, I'm not cutting it still.
on a
£50 an hour, man.
On a serious thing, though. You know what?
McDonald's way.
Let me ask you guys a question. I saw a tweet the other day, and on a serious note, it said that women will submit to a man if the woman is well led. And I obviously I agree with that. If a woman's well led, then a woman will be like, okay, cool, take the lead kind of thing, or I will, be like the second in command. But doesn't that kind of just leave the woman to decide whether or not she will submit? Because you can feel you're leading well, and she'll be like, no, you're not, so I'm gonna act mad. So do you not feel like it's a bit of a, you know what I mean? If you feel
She should have married you if she thinks you're not worthy of leading her.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. If she has the intention of that, that's what she's going into it for, then she should go get with somebody that she doesn't mind leading them.
That's true.
Yeah.
So are you saying you must see qualities of submission qualities in the man that would make you want to submit to him prior to you saying yes?
Definitely, because there are women who are natural leaders in a sense. So for them to then submit, it has to be somebody that they trust. And that that they've got a lot of respect for, because you can't submit to somebody you don't respect.
So what if it's like, I want my man to tell me to shut up, like them kind of girls?
Bruh.
No, that's true though. That's true.
What,
There's some strong-minded women out here who they want their man to be able to second them, and that's what they see as strength, and that's someone they will submit to because they can put them in their
That's true,
place.
you know. That,
Yeah,
they want
God
that
bless them.
physical attraction, that abuse.
That abuse.
They want to be loved like a gangster, innit?
Yeah.
It's true, but there's different type of people for different types of people. That's just So that's calm.
They should just submit themselves, man.
What does submission mean to you guys as men?
You know, Chris Benoit.
For fuck's sake. Bro, as you're moving mad.
Oh my
Kurt Angle,
days.
ankle lock.
No, you said Chris Benoit.
They said Chris Benoit,
bro.
Oh, because you know about him?
Crippler crossface. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's the submission move, isn't it? What's wrong?
actually, you took it wild, bro.
Is Chris Benoit a taboo?
Bro, you know.
Bro,
No, stop it.
I don't even understand what the
Stop
issue
it. Nah,
is.
stop
What's the
it.
issue?
knows the issue as well.
What is the issue?
Yeah,
Oh
we've gone
crap!
fine.
Because he killed his.
Oh my gosh.
Stop being wet flannels, man. Get over it, man. Yeah. So submission.
Wow.
What's submission? People that submit in it.
That's waste, man.
Where's this one
Anyway,
watching me?
Ollie, let me answer your question. I think I'm going to obviously talk from a Christian perspective because that is what I am. And, you can look at it both ways and just look at it from like I won't say normal, but like a worldly point of view. I sound very deep. I'm not that deep, guys. But if you think of it from a Christian point of view, can we turn to... No, seriously.
Drippy.
The man is supposed to love his wife like Jesus loved the church, and the wife is supposed to submit, and therefore he is obviously filling his part of the deal by loving you like Christ loved the church, which is like everything, because Christ gave up his life for us, which is effectively the church, etc. And you know what I mean? If you follow that, then submission is easy, because if you're doing your part, the woman will have no other desire than to want to submit. But the problem is that people are taking it out of context, and a lot of women don't really like the word submit, because it sounds like submit means, you know, like you say, if you go to wrestling, it means to tap out, it means to give up.
Oh, no, don't come with me now. That's what I was saying. You man were looking at me sideways because I said Chris Benoit. What's wrong with saying Chris Benoit? He was a submissionist and he did submissions.
Boy.
So the
Nah, Ollie, we'll fight in this room, you know. About.
Okay,
Go on, finish, go on.
I was just gonna say,
sitting as well. Commanding Ollie, come on and fight me.
so the dictionary definition of submission is the action or accepting of yielding to a superior force or to the will of or authority of another person.
A superior force.
That's where
And that's where people go.
Yeah.
And that's where people go. They say, what does submit even mean? And they say yielding, and they're like, nah.
Yeah, when you tap out.
To a superior force.
Yeah, like our husband's
When you're in the
supposed
crib
to be
across
superior.
face, you tap out.
Yeah, you're actually moving so
Andrew, you're
much.
wild.
right
So
now.
wild,
You're actually
bro.
moving so much.
I actually don't think it's that deep.
Is
You
it
guys
because
are
it's not-
you man are moving so
It's
soft.
because
No,
it's-
I'm with
moving
that.
so soft.
It's the Nando's from before, innit?
Yeah, I hope when he listens back to this, he cuts himself out.
No, I'm not cutting any of that. I'm not cutting that. There's stuff earlier I will cut, but not this.
No, yeah, but I think that's the problem, is that you look at the, you know, Oxford English Dictionary description of submit, and a lot of people are looking at it from an aspect of what the Bible describes. Some people are looking at it from submit. Submit means to give in, to let them have free reign, and that's not what I mean, or I guess any of the guys in this room mean. But you can understand if somebody's.
So what do you mean
that,
by it? What do you mean by it? Because obviously you said you gave your definition of what a man's supposed to do, but what is a woman supposed to do under your definition of submission?
I think for me personally, it's more of like a support. I say supporting role. By the way, when I said employees, I'm like,
Why are you
I'm thinking, I'm
backtracking?
not, because I'm waiting, because before I do
Man,
that,
shook. This guy is scared.
Paul sticks to
I
this.
agree.
I agree all over the gap, bro.
Hashtag I agree.
Are you that scared of the internet, bro?
No, not the internet. Bun the
Bad
internet.
employee,
Don't let me go
man.
mad, because
Minimum wage, man.
No, McDonald's thing. No employee thing. I'm just saying, in terms, it's like a supporting role. So it's like, if I have an idea or I say, I think we should do this, then I feel like I should be supported by you in that decision, and you should be able to support me to do that. Obviously, it goes both ways, but if we have a decision and I say, cool, I think we should do this, we can obviously have a discussion about it. At the end of the day, we collab and then we go forward.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm the head, the neck kind of thing, you know what I mean? I need you to move, but at the end of the day,
So it's like a
I got the brain.
it's like a respect for your it's like a respect for your leadership, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, respect for the leadership.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
Basically, so submission is. So you're saying submission is she's the neck and you're the head. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Chris Benoit.
For fuck's sake.
Hey,
sake,
you guys-
Ollie, man.
you
Do you know what?
Crippler crossface.
I'm gonna drop my 2 cents.
Yeah, drop your 2 cents.
So, from my understanding of how the Bible was written, Adam was created first, and he was given dominion over the earth, over everything in the planet from God. And then he was like, you know what? There's a lot of responsibility. I'm gonna take a rib out when he's sleeping, and then create a woman to help him out. And even the word being a helpmate in the Bible, I think is something. I can't remember what the Hebrew word is. I have to probably find it later. But I probably shouldn't have even said that. But that Hebrew word means something a lot stronger than just being someone who's like a help.
Oh, okay.
It's like actually being the strength, to being the rock in that relationship. God is described as that help as well. So when it talks about the wife submitting to the guy, it's not about her just laying down on the floor and just being like, you know, I'll do whatever you say. It's about understanding that he's the man that you're with, your husband. Submit to your own husband. The man that's for you is the person that's got the mission. That person's got all dominion, got all the authority over everything that you see around you. So literally just yield everything to him and he'll take care of you.
They don't want to hear that though.
But then the guy on the other end has to love the wife. If the guys aren't if the women's submitting and the guys aren't loving, and then of course they're gonna see it like, why am I submitting
to this guy? Yeah.
And I feel like it's even in women's nature to submit to a guy to give.
I wouldn't say so. Like I feel like
I would agree. You know,
I feel like
It's in their nature to submit.
To a guy, I don't think women would do it to each other.
Hold on, no, sorry, no.
no. I don't think
I
so.
agree.
I agree.
No, I'll say my point later.
Okay,
but
cool. Yeah, I'll back it up. Go on then.
Yeah.
No, I was just
Say your
saying.
point.
I was just saying. I would say that nowadays I feel like we're becoming more equals.
Uh-oh.
What did I say something?
No, I just think it's problematic.
Yeah, no, I was saying that I think we're becoming more equals, and in the eyes of society, men and women are seen as on the same level. So like your peers that are women in the same company will probably look at you the same way as they would look at like another woman. They wouldn't look at you any different. They wouldn't look at you as a superior. They wouldn't look at you as an authority. You're just a man. Do you get what I mean? They're equal. And I feel like that's the reason why sometimes some women have an issue with the idea of submitting, because it's that whole nature of submitting to an authority that they have an issue with. Whereas they don't see the man as an authority. They don't see the man as, a leadership figure. Even in the eyes of a relationship, they see themselves as equals in the relationship, which is fine. We are equals. We're not equals. But what we're saying is, when it comes to submission as men, we're talking about the idea of respecting our leadership position. If we're in the relationship and we've got that position of authority or that position of leadership, and you're entrusting the decisions that are being made in our household onto me, and I'm there to look after the whole of our family, then respect that. And that's where submission comes into it. It's almost like putting your emotions to yourself inside you and trying to understand and being selfless to the other person.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty apt, bro.
Amazing.
That's pretty apt. Yeah, I think that's, and I think. Sorry, you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I think where it kind of gets blurred sometimes, I feel like people are blurring submission with security, because I kind of feel like a lot of people, if you have money now, there's a lot of security with that, and a lot of women will respect the money aspect of it. They'll respect the security that you give them, and so they're not going to question you on anything because you just splash them with money. You know what I mean? And they're fine. So some people look, my man's got to be, if he's like providing for me, if he's able to do this and that, then they'll submit. But that's not really submission.
If they're clear levels.
If they're clear levels, that's that's security. And obviously, I think within submission, you need your man to make you feel secure. So you can then submit. But and I'm not saying it's not an aspect of it, but sometimes people focus solely on the money aspect, feeling like that's enough, where really there's other things that got to come into it.
Yeah.
But
I think that's why it's always better for a guy to pursue a woman, because when it says like a man should love a woman, I feel like it's going to sound a bit crazy, but I think that a woman can be in a successful relationship with a guy if she doesn't like love him, because women have this sort of innate thing where they can just care for somebody, but then it wouldn't work the other way around. Like for the relationship to work, the man has to actually love the woman, because then it's like he will go, how we are, then we'll go to the end of the earth for her. But a woman can naturally just, if you're there, they'll love you and they'll take care of you. So that's why I think that's part of the reason why it's like that.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah. Do you know what? That actually swings right back to the point I was going to use to back me up. So in Genesis chapter 3:16.
every time.
Neighbor! Basically. I've had this one loaded because when I first found this out, I was a bit like, whoa.
Your seed is enough.
This is actually mind-blowing, because I was just asking myself, I think I even spoke to you guys about it. I was like, why does it seem like girls really, really are into guys like when they're in relationships? And it says here, this is after Eve ate the apple and gave it to Adam, and God saw them and was like, "No, you know what? You lot are cursed. Kick that out of the garden."
Was it an apple or was it just a fruit?
A fruit.
Liquid.
Okay. So basically, from Genesis chapter 3:16, it says here in the New King James Version, To the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In pain, you shall bring forth children.
Yikes.
Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you.
Mad.
And that was the curse to the woman. So when women kind of act a bit like they give everything for a guy that they like,
Oh.
and they submit everything, and the guy doesn't love them back, they get really, really hurt because they are actually really giving everything.
Yeah.
And us guys, we don't see it because we don't love them like that.
Men are trash.
Men are not.
It's not about us being trash.
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
I'm
like
joking.
women were made more delicate than men,
Mm.
and they're more emotional than men. They're more in touch with their feelings than, I would say, they're more expressive with their emotions than men are.
Nice save.
So it's like when it comes to emotional things, women will go to the extremes of it and will express that. Like if they if they like a guy, they may not even know his name. But girls will do things like they'll be smiling and be acting bare, acting. Oh.
That's why they be trying to
But
take you out for your birthday when you don't even want to go anywhere.
Fam,
Wanna
but,
stay home.
I was gonna say, I don't give a damn what you think about it.
but you know,
going
as,
out.
but as a guy, if you see a girl that you like, you kind of like scoping out. You keep it cool. You're just like, you know what? Okay, let me just try to figure out more about this girl without getting caught. Like, and this, we don't even want the girl to really feel that we like her that much.
Yeah.
We just kind of keep it
trying to
inside.
hide it.
We know we just, you know.
I mean, I think you're onto something there, definitely. That's that.
He's
As in,
onto
like,
something. It's
no,
in
I
the
mean-
Bible, man.
No. I mean, as in like
Scripture.
the way what he's brought out is like, it's something like I'm saying, like it's something to think about.
Did you know
Because-
this before?
No, that like the curse with the childbirth, but the bit
But,
with the
yeah.
burning of desire, that bit like
Yeah.
is.
You know what? I've
is-
always
is-
read that, but I
not
just
taking
never.
it in.
I just
Yeah,
I've
you
never
don't
took it in.
take
But
it
that's the
in.
Bible for you, innit? You read some
Yeah.
things 1,000 times, and you
Yeah,
always
that's
get
it.
something new from
So
it.
that just makes sense because again, you know, a lot of women will go into overtime for men that they don't even really know that much. You know what I mean? They'll be doing the most,
Yeah.
and you know, kind of double-edged sword. You know, if you're able to nurture that, and you have a man who's willing to be like not take the piss, etc., then you got yourself a winner like 10 out of 10 times. But obviously, if you take the piss now, then
Yeah.
the heartbreak is
It's real for the
is
woman.
real. It's
So,
real.
so why do you think? Like, I know this is a lot of speculation,
I love a speculation.
but why do you think some women have an
Chatty.
issue with the idea of submission? One, and do you think it's mainly Christian women, or is like women outside of the church that have that issue with the idea of submission?
It's definitely all women.
It's all women.
All women. And it's because of the whole, independent woman thing. Women are able today to do more than they've ever been able to do. And they've been freer than they've ever been able to be free, which is all great. But it puts pressure on that sort of dynamic if you don't look at it properly. People think that it's an attack on their independence when it's not really at all. So, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I think, yeah.
You know, I was just gonna say that I feel like that bit about independent women. I don't want to like.
Yeah.
I don't want to disrupt it, but
Yeah, you have to.
independent women, I feel like it's just a worldly construct to just kind of women just want to feel like, you know what, whatever the guy can do, I can also do too. But you don't have to do it.
It's gonna be
You know
wild.
what? I empathize with them for the sheer fact that it's like it's in a sense they're not used to it. They're not used to having to be able to do these things is not like generally is something that's new to women that they're taking control of now. So the whole I can do what you can do. At the end of the day, it's like what really is an independent woman or what is really an independent person? Yeah, you pay your bills, you look after yourself, you hold down a job. That's being independent.
You can live in
yeah.
this system that
Yeah.
we created
and be independent
by yourself.
by yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but then I think we take it out of context. Like it's got to be someone who's a job owner. I don't need no man to look after me, etc. So we kind of take the independence thing. It's kind of like a culture thing rather than just I believe we're all here living independently. But and I'm not even talking about men. I just mean women in general. Yeah, you're an independent person. You know, so okay, and kind
Question?
of thing.
Yeah.
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 That's
Massive question.
But yeah, you know what I mean.
This guy's
So-
really
but no, I
Sound
think
weird.
it goes back to what you were saying though, Oli. I think it's just like the equality kind of thing. It's like, why should I have to submit now that I'm freer than ever, and now I have to go back to the 1900s and submit to my man and you know go and make him food in the morning and this and that. It's like, and I think that comes more pressure on men. And that's where you're getting the whole security thing where it's just like, I'm only going to submit to a man. He's got to be on my level. He's got to be able to do this and do that and look after me and this and that. And on top of, I can have my own independence as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's all women, but in a sense that it's not a bad thing, but the added independence, the freedom, the equality that women are now gaining is now making it difficult to now relinquish that and say, I've got to give that all back to a man now, and he's got to tell me when to wake up and when to sleep and when to cook, etc., and then open my legs when he wants sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think you're right, and I feel like sometimes I hear stuff like submission is cool. Like I believe, so someone will say I believe in submission, but the Bible says that we are both supposed to submit to each other. That's not necessarily true, and I don't think that is true. And I feel like the funny thing about the Bible and the funny thing about being a Christian is that the Lord, He tests the things that your internal nature is it's difficult for you to give up. It's the hardest thing for you to give up, right? So I feel like as there's a reason why the Bible asks women to submit to men, because it's a difficult thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do, right? And you have to be selfless to do it. We internally as human beings, we're selfish, and I think God always tests that innate selfishness within you and tries to strip away from you. As men, He knows that it tells you to love your wife and honor your wife. As men,
we find out.
As men, you find it hard. Like, bruv, you wanna, if you can, you would have 5 wives. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's the truth. Yeah. If you could, like, you'll be sowing your seed everywhere. Yeah. Sowing your seed, you get me?
I saw what you did there. I saw what you did, sowing your seed there.
You'll be doing it everywhere. And the Bible tells you, no, love your wife. Yeah. And love your wife the way that the way that Jesus loved the church.
I don't think women see it that way, you know. I don't think they'll see that a man needs want to marry X amount of wives or do X amount, but he's trying to focus on the woman he's trying to marry. I don't think women see it. They just see like, no, I don't want us to be submissive, this and that. They don't see the other side. I think that's one of their faults as well.
Yeah, and it's difficult because loving the church as much as you love your wife is just as difficult for a man as a woman submitting to her husband. The Bible requires you to almost die. Die for your woman. Die for your wife.
Yeah.
Are any of you man ready to die for a woman? Like, just be straight up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Die.
Man said die.
For my wife. For my wife,
Yeah.
Not die to yourself. Yeah. Die for a woman.
Die for a woman?
Yeah.
Wait, which woman?
Your wife.
Your wife.
My wife.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't got one yet, but yes, in theory.
No, it's
man tipped his
massive in theory.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, cool. Okay, you know what?
Don't get me wrong.
It's hard, man.
If death is staring me in the face, I'm gonna be hesitant. Yeah. But if it's between me and you, then it's gonna be me.
Even Jesus was hesitant. He went up to the garden and was like, you know what? Yeah, you know what, God, if his can actually move away, and like I'd rather that. But I mean. I think this whole
it's hard. It's
hard, man. It's very hard.
What you said is difficult. It is difficult.
Yeah, I'm not downplaying it. It's not easy, but I'm like I said, in theory.
Yeah.
But you know, even in the verse, I've got it
in
here.
my heart.
Is the majority of the portion is actually about husbands loving your wives. There's just there's 2 verses that say about wives submit.
That women take it out on context,
and then everyone just like focuses on that. But it's husband loves your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word. And I go on to 28. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. So I kind of going on what you said. Like, I think this will somewhat reiterate that it's difficult to do this. Maybe the nature of man is not monogamy, and it's more like, you know what? Yeah, like Keisha and Becky, you know what I mean?
It is, and I'm sorry for us to break it to you, ladies. It's just kind of just how it is, to be fair.
Yeah.
Not that it's impossible, because it's obviously not.
And all we're asking for is a little bit of submission, bruv. Like,
just a little bit.
And you know what? It's because of the way their brain. Just a little bit. It's the way their brain is set up. I think it's the way their brain is set up. They've got such a wide palette of different thoughts. You know how women think and how they can overthink stuff, and just they think so differently to guys. So it's hard for them now to just zone that all in and then submit. But they just feel like they've got some sort of higher brain pattern where they just see things differently. So it's
just
hard.
like what Ollie was saying. Like it's in there, and it's not the easiest thing to do.
Nope.
It sounds easy to say, but it's so difficult to do. But
I think it's wild for them to just be living in a world where there's another gender that's just generally more in history more dominant.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine living in that in the world.
Yeah.
Even if you just look at it from the physical aspect, imagine there's like on average, there's another gender that's just on average stronger than you. Like you just can't you can't just be walking down the road. If someone from that gender just runs up on you, there's a good chance you're gonna lose. Yeah. I couldn't live in that world. That's long. That's wild.
We're feeling it.
Do you know what? I got another thing that might just ruffle up some more feathers. It does say that where is it? Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Not he who finds a woman finds a good thing. A woman trying to be a wife. No, he who finds a wife." And I think,
but how can you find a wife though?
What's happening in society is that women are seeing themselves as wives, but when it comes down to it, they're not. They're really not about. You know what? I agree. You know what? Don't clap. Don't clap because I'm not married, right? So I can't really speak on that. But for my boys that are married, I've seen it. Like from the even before they've made their girl.
There's a pattern of behavior.
Yeah, even before they've made their girl their wife. We've been to how many weddings together, guys? Like even before they make the girl their wife, she's already kind of in that position anyway. She was a queen from the beginning. She was a wife from the beginning, not like, oh yeah, over time, she now became the wife.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It just makes you easy. It makes, Bob, I know this sounds mad, but it makes that person easier to love.
Yeah, that's not a crazy concept.
It's not difficult to, that for us guys, we like to see, like at least see that you've got the potentials for the wife, the qualities of a wife. If we don't see that, then it's so hard to love. Like it's to love you like a wife.
Yeah, but we're not easy to love. They can naturally
if everything that I'm saying you're going against, everything. I say go right, you're turning left. I say let's cross, you're staying.
Why?
Like I say let's go for food. I'm not hungry. Like everything is like, all right, cool.
I'm with you. Even just on that, but it's he who finds. Like finding means that you might not. You might not find.
He who finds, nobody says he who seeks finds. Like
and if you don't find, just be celibate like Paul, fam. You get me?
like tall as Paul.
Like
TP. Drippy.
Celibate gang.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just on that.
I was taking deep breaths in,
And even that revelation is what I got from one uncle. Like he literally just shook my hand and said, "You are a very handsome lad." You are a very handsome lad. Just remember, all these women, then some of them are not wives. It's he who finds a wife, not he who finds a woman.
Your uncle definitely played this scene.
I was like, when they're shaking your hand when they're talking to you, giving you advice, just shaking your hand. I'm like, okay,
Was his name Toby?
Nah. What I want to do is I want you to give your biggest seed.
Your seed is not big enough.
Don't be looking at anybody's drip, but focus on your own drip.
But can I say, so we've got a plan to have a female guest on to talk about
we want to hear their side.
Submission. We want to hear their side and, obviously their point of view and, we want to try and rubbish it.